The following is an excerpt from, For the Hell of It, 13 Spine-Tingling Tales of Terror, by Cranny T. Boy. Only a handful of copies were ever produced, and some believe an original and complete copy of the collection no longer exists. I dedicated the past several years of my life tracking down the 13 short stories. My quest led me across all 7 continents until now. Finally, I present to you an audio reading of each of the 13 tales. Be warned. They're not for the easily spooked.
Pa, the horses are actin' funny again,
said Laura with a deeply unsettled look in her eyes. Pa knew this time it was not a joke. He knew for some time now that something strange was happening on their land. He could no longer pretend it was the Jacobson boys up to no good. This was something else. Something inhuman. He pondered for a while why, if there was some sort of creature afoot, lurking the premises, why had it not just eaten the horses by now? Maybe it wasn't hungry. But what could it want?
Laura, daughter of mine, I want you in the house by the shank of the evening, and you are not to step foot outside until dawn less I or your brother attends you,
he warned.
Yes, Pa,
said Laura. She felt sick as a horse, like she could shoot the cat any second. What scaresome creature was stalking their property?
Skittles,
shouted Jebediah.
It ain't right.
He was up in arms about the ordeal, and Pa was having a difficult time calming down the household.
I ain't gonna risk my own flesh and blood going outside past nightfall whilst the thing is out there, shouted
Pa.
Now, I'm gon' go into town at the crack of dawn, and I'm going to alert the sheriff. Till then it's best we stay put for the evening.
Jebediah had been drinking the old tarantula juice again and was in a tizzy.
I'ma go out there with my shooting iron and I'ma show that thing who's boss, you hear?
He exclaimed. Pa shook his head. He'd been having difficulty watching over the children ever since they lost Mary Beth to the storm, now almost 6 months prior. Jebediah took it particularly hard on account of Mary Beth favoring him. He had been the firstborn after all, and Mary Beth saw in him great potential. Laura seemed to have been born with an almost innate ability to understand these unfortunate complexities of life. She didn't think it her place to judge the workings of God. But no God above that so loved his creatures could ever have produced nor allowed the disturbing sequence of events that then unfolded. First, was the sound. Another worldly growl that echoed from the trees and shook the entire house, followed by horses neighing and squealing. And then the deafening silence. Pa looked at his 2 children, Laura and Jebediah, and sobbed. Knowing this was it. Nothing he could do as a father, or protector, would ever be enough to stop that creature. The one just outside the door. Slithering, perhaps, maybe even grinning. Jebediah aimed his rifle at the door, ready to fight like Kilkenny cats. But when the door swung open, and they all got a good look at their tormentor, their jaws dropped in utter disbelief.
I done believe my eyes,
said Pa. Because what they saw was not a hairy creature with sharp fangs and intimidating claws. What they saw standing in the doorway on that dark and dreary night was something all too familiar. It was themselves. Pa, Jebediah, and Laura. Because as Stephen King famously said it, monsters are real, and ghosts are real too. They live inside us, and it's creepy as hell.